I'm so sorry. Um, right in the middle of right in the middle of the action, my computer had a green screen. I think it's just telling me that it's time for me to get rid of all these things. So sorry for the break in the transmission. I apologize and appreciate all of you. Let me put you here. So I have decided to try as much as possible to also share my stream some way somehow live so they can see what I'm doing from most times if I stream. So yeah, so sorry about that. Thank you for sticking and staying with me. So I was talking about Home Assistant. So now I'm running my Home Assistant on this little thing here. Has an SD, has a bunch of two HDMI's, USB-C for power, and this is a jump for the SSD. It's actually the M2 Argon case. So I'm running my Home Assistant on that. That's one of the things that also is actually took some time from me that I have been away as well. So apart from crafted climate and crowdsense stuff, it's also the Home Assistant. Now also I have been playing around with couple of things I want to share. So this here is a Mata Smart Hub, right? This is a Mata Smart Hub, and I want to also start to do some Mata. Now, if you don't understand what Mata is, let me try to break it down into very simplistic terms for you. Interesting enough, I've not dropped any frames. The whole machine is using about just 0.6% of my CPU. I'm streaming at 60 frames per second. Anyway, so what matters is that hey guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. You can join the mainstream. So you can join me on you can join me on YouTube, Facebook, and then you can see all that I'm doing live up there. This is more of just giving you insight into just what I'm doing. You might not see that probably, but so what this is here, this is a smart hub, right, for Mata. Mr. Na, good evening. It's been a while. Yes, bro. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing great. Great greetings to you. So most times for IoT systems, if you're building something that works with Wi-Fi, right? You're only speaking with the Wi-Fi devices. You can have stuff that is also Zigbee. That means that you are only speaking to the devices that are speaking Zigbee. And then you can also talk about even LoRa, right? You have only devices that speak LoRa. Now, what Mata is trying to do, awesome, actually live, yes, yeah. So stay on, don't go. I'm going to share something. I've been telling you about it, but today I'm going to talk about it on the show. So don't go, stay on it. You see what that is. So what Mata is trying to do is a protocol, right? That is unifying all of it. So today I could have a Tuya bulb, smart bulb. I could have Alexa. I could have a Google Smart Home. I could have different smart devices that are speaking different protocols. But then Mata will unify that we can speak to each other, right? So it doesn't matter what device. So once you start to use Mata, it doesn't matter what device you're using, whether it's Bluetooth, Zigbee, Z-Wave, whatever that is, Mata will unify it and you can speak to it. So I've been doing some, playing around and messing around with it. And this is one of the, Mata certified hubs that this is a new one. I have not used it yet, but I'll be trying to work on it. And ESP has also, or Expressive has also come up with some Mata compliant boards that I'm looking at. So this is the H2. There's also the C6 that's Mata compliant. Now the interesting thing is that if you know me, I'm a very hey, long time Elik Plim. Elik Plim, yes. Today I specifically was waiting for you to come. So Elik Plim, remind me this Saturday. This is your MX chip is here. Remind me so you can take it on Saturday. And I've seen some ghosts on the stream. Hey, it's been a long time. Where have you been? Get in touch. So, what Mata does is it unifies it. So it doesn't matter. So you can have a smart curtains that is Bluetooth. You can have a smart light that is Wi-Fi. You can have a smart kettle that is Zigbee, and you can control all of them using Mata. So um, Expressive ESP has a variant of that C6. Now, Shayo, most of you know that I'm a big Shayo fan. Give me a sec. Let me think this for you. So, most of you know that I'm a big Shayo fan. And this is the Shayo, right? This is a Shayo. This small microprocessor, right? Microcontroller. Now, Seed Studio has made the C6 version of Shayo, which means that these tiny microprocessors can now do Mata, are Mata enabled, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to join us to learn a lot about this. Now, this now allows you to do Mata. So which means I can now use something like this, right, for the Mata, use a bridge like this to talk to other devices, whether it is Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, you can do that. So that's the other thing I have been, crazy and, messing around with. And this is also another, if you're into Home Assistant, this is the Home Assistant Sky Connect, this little device here. So you connect it to your device that speaks home, that's using Home Assistant, and then you'll be able to connect to your, all your, how do you call it, all your Mata compliant devices, right? So that's so this is what has been keeping awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. So these are some of the things that have been keeping me up or like away from you guys, but we figured that it's time to share this. Now, talk about that. When we came back from Tanzania, we organized a free IoT certification course. It's been running for the past, I think, 4 or 5 weeks now. And this coming Saturday is the end of the program, and we have participants who are going to present their MVPs. We had a hackathon for them to build the build solutions after gaining experience, in the training. I know some of the feedback you people are giving us is that it's really an interesting program. You wish we could make it more in person and also to maybe extend the time. We are working on it. We're working hard to get that happening, and subsequently we're trying to work on a similar roadshow for universities. So if you are in any of the universities, we're starting from Accra because of proximity and stuff like that. If you're in any of the universities in Accra, Legon, Shasi, Academic City, any of the places, even Kumasi as well, and you have a group of people, a group that is interested in learning IoT, reach out to me on any of my socials that's showing right here. Um, my team are online, or you can just put your contact in there. My team are online right now. They'll pick your details and then we'll get back to you and doing the session. So that's the other thing that's been keeping me apart from building sensors, home assistant, all that. Now, so yeah, before before we do that, this is also another Mata compliant device that I think this is Zigbee. So if I want my home assistant to speak to Zigbee devices as well, I'm using this. I'm just trying to get it to focus a little bit. So I connect this to my device, and then it now can communicate with all the Zigbee devices in my house. Currently, I have, hey Kafi, welcome to the show. It's been like forever. Hope you're doing well. Let's connect. I know you have been missing, but let's connect. So um, at the moment, I have about 3 or 4 Zigbee light bulbs, and I have a Zigbee bridge. But right now, with things like this, I can put them together thanks to Mata. So those are the things that I have been messing around with. Now, the other thing from Seed Studio I have been messing around with, which I'll be talking a lot more subsequently in the on the stream, is their LoRa devices. This is one of the LoRa SenseCap trackers. So this is the T1000 tracker. Now it has an emergency button here as well. So if I have an emergency and I do this, this has sent an SOS message right now to the dashboard. So all my team will know that probably there's something happening to me. Now in this little thing, it has a temperature, it has I think temperature, humidity, and has a GPS as well. So if I go to the dashboard right now, you should see that information there. Okay, there you go. Just turning it off. So this is also, I've been messing with that. We've set up um, a, a localized reference area for our sensors. So we have it there, and we literally, what we do is that that's where we compare values from our sensors to the devices we're building. So this is also part of the things that um, and then these now these tiny things, I won't talk about them too much, but these two things you see here. So these things, the cases were 3D printed right here. They are running an ESP32 device in it. It speaks LoRa. You can see the LoRa antennas here. Now, with just this small setup, right? This is about, okay, this is 7 kilometers. So with these two devices, right? If I gave you one and I took one and we were about, at this time, I think it's 7 kilometers, 3 to 7 kilometers away from each other, right? We could send messages across without internet and without any network. Yes. We will be able to do, we'll be able to send messages across up to 3 to 7 kilometers without the need of internet. That's without Wi-Fi or without any network. So you can put your phone on flight mode, no data, no Wi-Fi, nothing, and we will be able to communicate. We'll be able to communicate encrypted. You can create multiple channels. Now, what this does is it creates a mesh network. So the more devices I have, the bigger the mesh network, and we can communicate amongst ourselves. We can create groups, and this is running on LoRa. He who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says. I won't talk much about this, but yeah, I'll be doing some episode on it, but I won't go into details. It's quite sensitive, so I won't go too much into it. I think I mentioned about, yeah, we have a bunch of these. So the road show for the schools and staff, you'll be giving one of these for free when you join the session, and then you'll be able to learn a lot more. Okay, so before I open up to share with you, or I open up for you to ask me questions on IoT, there's a final thing that I have been playing with, and I'm going to bring it up here. And we can talk about it for a while. There's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of things people have said they're using it, and this is strictly my opinion, guys. This is my opinion. This is my experience. This is what I literally gained, right? Or my experience in using it. That's what I'm going to share. So if your experience is different, please share with me. My experience is different, right? But I can only speak for what I know. So this is heavy. So yeah, I'm sure you've probably seen it already. So yes, I have a Starlink. Just about the time where the whole fiber, sorry, net, undersea cable thing and all the craziness, I went straight to order a Starlink. Now, I had already ordered. Let me put this here. Now, I had already pre-ordered some time back, probably I think a year or two ago, and was anticipating and waiting for it to happen. That didn't happen. So I when the whole fiber cutting came, it was actually affecting me, my business, my work. I'm a digital nomad, so you can understand. It was affecting me, so I needed a way to really get into it, and I bought the Starlink. So I got the Gen 3, and this is the Gen 3. Comes with a kickstand. So this is how it looks like. It's not the Gen 2 that has the that thing. And now most people don't notice, but even though this just has a kickstand, it actually tilts. It does move a bit inside. We noticed it when we were setting it up in my office and windows. So yeah, so the standard Gen 3 kit comes with the main dish. It then comes with It comes with a Gen 3 router. Now, for those that have the I think Gen 2, right? For those that have the Gen 2 router, you notice that if you cannot connect an extra router or switch to it, you have to buy another adapter, right? But for the Gen 3, I'm going to open this up. The router actually has two more ports right here that you can connect to maybe a switch or another, access point or something to share the connection. So the Gen 3 has that. So it comes, you get the dish, you get the router, and there is the, let me get the power brick here. There is the power brick, and then you get a standard, I believe this is a 15 meters, standard 15 meters cable, 15 to connect with it. However, in our situation, we needed a longer cable, so we had to purchase an extra long cable. I think it was a 45 meters cable, which was an extra cost to get it. So yes, I have been using the Starlink. Now, the question is it fast? Hell yeah, it's fast. Even so, on a good day, even if you just put it on the ground without, it's without it being on, like, let's say at the higher level, without all the obstructions, you can get a cool 250 Mbps out of this internet connection, and it's good, it's reliable. If the from experience, it's a satellite-based communication, so low orbit satellites that give you connection. Now, if the weather is a little gloomy or cloudy, that connection drops. But apart from that, pretty much works well. Now, the next thing I know people are going to ask is, Sam, how much are you paying for your Starlink in terms of the subscription? So I'm going to be plain about it. When I was getting the Starlink, because I'm a digital nomad traveling around, working from different parts of the wherever I find myself, my intention was to get the global plan, right? Was to get the global roaming plan. Now, which meant that irrespective of where I find myself in the world, so far as I carry my Starlink, I can use it anywhere. So at the time, I paid $200 a month for the global package, right? So which means I'm not restricted. I could go to any country, whether Starlink is there or not, and still make it functional, right? Until recently, when Starlink decided to up it up, to change the subscription for global to $400. So if you wanted to get global that allows you to use it anywhere in the world, you're prepared to pay $400 a month for that subscription. Now, hear me. It is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. If you're not running a business, if you're not a heavy internet user, if it's not part of you, it doesn't make sense to go pay $400 a month for internet connection. If you're not using it for business, if you don't have it, it's not, right? Is it reliable? Yes. Do you need it? Unless your business is internet, you don't need to stress about this. That's just opinion. However, considering the fact that, NCA and all that have given them the license and they are working to start operation, that means that prices would come down, especially when you're in Ghana, because then you don't need to purchase a global plan to be able to have internet. You can just purchase any of their residential plans, which I think in Kenya and Nigeria is around $30 or something. If you up it a little bit, you are spending close to the areas of about $50, right? $50 equivalent to get, good residential internet that is regional, in Ghana. And that could be affordable by the masses, right? However, like I said, if you are like me, who works on the go, who does, like, I'm doing tech on wheels, I'm doing boot camps, I'm going to places and I need some good reliable internet, it makes sense for me and my team to get this. And that's why we got it. So we have a case for it. Now, I know that a lot of people, I've heard a lot of comments and questions about, oh, some people say, I bought it and I'm using Kenya. I bought it, I'm using Nigeria. I bought it and I'm using Benin. Please, I haven't used that before. I don't know how that works. I can't validate if it's true or not. I can't tell. But people have different, people say we've bought it, we've used Kenyan address, Nigerian address, and we are paying the Nigerian rate and it's working. Well, I don't know about that, right? Now, but let me break this down so that it's clear. Now, I have come to realize that if you have a good shipping partner, and this is the time I'm going to use the time to big up Hobart Shipping. Hobart Shipping got my styling down. If you have anything you want to ship door to door from US to Ghana and very soon from China to Ghana to Nigeria, Hobart is your partner. So big ups Jeffrey and the Hobart team. Thank you for sorting us out. Now I bought mine from the US and shipped it through Hobart and it came in. Now, there are a couple of ways you can get your Starlink, right? You can go directly on the Starlink website, buy it, and then it creates an account for you, which is in your name and tied to the location where you want to use it. Let's see if I can bring this up. Let's go to the decks so you can see this. Let's do Starlink. And no, before you do that, let's go back. Let me show you this before you go. Now, you see there is Activate Starlink. That is the other way. So if you look at the Starlink website, you have this. They have the Activate Starlink. This is the second way you can use a Starlink, which is you don't purchase it from Starlink's website. You technically purchase it from, let's say, Amazon, Best Buy, any of these retail shops, which is not tied to an account. All right. So you buy it from there because it's not tied to any account. You can now come to the Starlink website and then activate it. And this is where you're going to provide things like your address, the plan you want to go on, and all that. I was talking about service plans. Let's go and look at that. So these are the three packages. There's the residential, there's the room, and there's the, well, one for both people who are on the seas and all that, right? And then there's also there's a business package, right? Now I got the room because, like I said, I wanted to have access to pretty much internet anywhere I go when I have to go or do work and stuff like that. So my team and I got the roam package. Now, if you look at the roam, which means work and play at remote locations all over. So wherever you're traveling, all that, you can do that. Now, the pricing, and though I don't mind their displays, you don't get the Gen 2. You're actually going to get a Gen 3 stuff. I've been eyeing this Starlink case, but it's quite expensive. Matter for another time. So let's look at the service plans, like I was explaining, right? Now, for the personal service plans, come on, Starlink page. Let's go here. Load. Let's try business and see. Or let's try all. Okay. Let's see. I'm sure that if you typing, let's say if you type Accra, Ghana, I'm just going to use, I'm just going to use any of the accounts in here, right? So if you try to do this, there you go. It's telling you, okay, so order Starlink, Ring Road, the target to start in 2024. So you can reserve it by paying $9. That's if you want to reserve, and when they are ready, you get it, right? But like I said, I got the roaming. I'm trying to go to the roaming and show you the pricing. Service plans. Yeah, I don't know why it's taking like forever to load. So right now the service plan for roaming global. Now there are two types of roaming. So this is where I think a lot of people are probably using the Starlink in different parts of Africa, and they feel that is the address. So let me explain this. Now, Starlink has regional and global pricing, right? So you can, let's use example. Let's say Nigeria, right? If you are in Nigeria or Kenya or Benin, where Starlink service is at the moment, where a lot of people are now buying and using from, when you are there, they also have something called regional, not not residential. All right. Now let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the website. You let me just explain this. So residential roaming both, but for residential, right, and even roaming. Now residential is your home where they have service in that country. There's nothing wrong with it. The roaming, there's regional roaming and there's global roaming, right? Regional roaming is if you bought it, let's say in Kenya, and you subscribe to the regional roaming, you can go to Nigeria, Benin, and use it without any problem. If you're in the state, if you're in America, not America, and you bought it in, let's say, Seattle, right? And you used regional, you can go to any of the states in America and still use it without any problem, and you will not have service not available errors. That's fine. So in my thought, my opinion, I feel that that is what a lot of people are doing. They are using the Kenyan and Nigerian address and probably subscribing to regional. So even though they are in Ghana, it's working. But because you're subscribed to a regional plan, it allows you to work. But not to think that I am in Ghana and I'm using a Kenyan address and therefore, Now the second one is global roaming, which is the subscription I am on. So that means that I can go anywhere in the world with this particular Starlink and still have internet access. And that I'm saying that as of now is $400. If you already had a Starlink account, this was announced I think somewhere last month or so. If you already had a subscription, you are still going to be on the $200 for I think 2 or so months, 3. I think 2 or 3 months, and then after that you'll be transitioning to the $400 monthly subscription. But if you're new, if you just purchased it, like a friend of mine did today, we set him up. He had the regional for US. He came down. He's in town to do some stuff, and then it wasn't working, so we had to change it to global. Roaming for a period of time because you already had a subscription. They prorated it, and then he paid the difference. So that is a story of the Starlink. My experience, it felt a lot cheaper to buy it directly from the US and have it shipped here than go through people that are selling it from different places. Some people are selling it, people want to cash in, so they're selling it at a very outrageous price. That's their business. I don't have any issues with that. It's their business. But from my experience, like I said, I can only share what I have experienced, what I have done, and it seems to have been a lot cheaper than that. So that is what I have been up to. Been doing, testing things out, messing around with things, playing with things, and yeah, so far it's been good. At this point, I'm going to open it up for people who have any questions, especially on the IoT side. So going forward, yeah, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I would answer them as we go since we've moved from this section. So going forward on the show, we would be doing a lot of the new things that are available now on the Microsoft IoT Azure IoT section, which is the event grade MQTT. Look at how we can use Fabric to do. There's real-time intelligence now in Microsoft Fabric, so that means that we should be able to pipe stream data coming from our sensors through to Fabric and Stream to do that. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can push this here. Let's see, crafted. I'm trying to pull out. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's go. interesting. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can get, if I can pull up our. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. Hope you can join us here. Let's see. Here. Free set. Yeah, it was there. It was there. It was there. There you go. Let's see this. All right, so crafted climate. I'm going to go ahead. I want to show you a glimpse of the dashboard and how we're getting the data from our sensors. And then I can explain and that. Give me a sec. Let me pull this up right here on the iPad. So let's see this. Yeah. So let's do this. So crafted. And please, whilst I'm trying to pull this up, feel free to ask any question you have so far about what I mentioned from Laura, connectivity and all that. Ask the question, drop it whether it's on Instagram or live. I'll try to answer that for you. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so there we go. So this is it. Let's go to the desk. Let me show you this. I'm gonna move. So I'm gonna move here to free set render. So this is yeah, so this here is just a test environment which we're using to test things out. So I can show you how it looks like. Yeah, so Elicleam says, let's go listen to what Elicleam says. Elicleam is asking, how long do you think it will take for Starlink to be common as MT? That is a very valid question, Elicleam. Truth is that, see, mostly, even currently, all right, let's take the current scenario where how many people have fiber connections in their home? It's not everybody, right? So it's going to take a while. The cost of the equipment itself is quite expensive, probably about 400 or something dollars, depending on the one you're getting. So it might not be common in every home. That's why I said it depends on your use case, right? I use it to run business and to work because I'm a digital nomad. And my business is internet, my work is internet, so I need that to function. So it makes sense for me and my team to get it. And if we're moving out to do stuff, it makes sense for myself and my team to get that. So that's the reason we got it. But it will take some time, for it to be. But trust me, once they start running officially in Ghana, they are going to have, authorized dealers who would actually sell at prices that would be, competitive. The other thing is, if you live in an area with, if you live in a flat or something, a few of you can, or an apartment, a few of you can put some money together, buy it, and share the data, which is not bad at all. So here, this is one of the sensors. All right. So this is how. Let's see. This is 2 2 Okay. So this is how the data comes. All right. So we have the temperature, humidity, pressure, noise, lux, PM1, PM2.5, PM10, UV, and then that calculates. It tries to calculate the AQI, and this at the moment is just reading it. I think this is every minute because this is running on Wi-Fi. So we have it at a test site, and it's bringing in Wi-Fi data. So it's connected to Wi-Fi, and I think, let me see if I have. Let me see if I can send. I have a picture or something of it. And obviously, yes, at night, some of these things, especially lax and UV, go down. Let me see. I have if I can share. I don't think I have that, but I was going to share that with you guys. I was going to share a picture of. I'll try to do that on the next stream. So this is a sample dashboard which gives us, all the information we want, and the data is also being used in a machine learning module that over time we can look at the patterns and do some predictions and forecasts based on a lot of factors and things we see. So aside this, we're tracking the time. We're tracking a lot of other data points that allow us to share this out. So plan is to be able to mass produce a lot of these, deploy them in different places, a lot of places around, and then what we can do is that we can now have a more dense, a dense collection or group of sensors that can give us more, more environmental data. Because as of now, if you look at all um, the notifications that are put out, is coming from the AfriCET, which is the African Sensor Evaluation and Training Center, which is where the reference monitors are. So it's giving you air quality from around that space. But the question is, what about other places, right? Have we forgotten, air quality from other places, even in schools, in homes, in hospitals, in churches, right? So that's one of the biggest projects that we're working on, and we are hopeful that in a few months time, all the product will be on the market, because we are at the stage where we're going to start mass production, and we're using this opportunity to call on anybody who wants to partner, especially the finance side, because manufacturing is not easy. That's one of our challenges, trying to manufacture these boxes. It's not being easy. It's capital intensive, so we're working on it. So um, we're glad that some key stakeholders are working with us to get it out there. But then again, it's quite interesting. So yeah, so that's what has been taking a lot of my time this recent times. I hope I shared a lot of information, talked about stuff. Yeah, somebody's gonna ask. Hey, it's been doing great, doing great. It's been a very, very long time. Hope you're doing well, Linda. So, so that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been messing around. A lot of the tech stuff, from the ESPs to the Mata to the box. Yeah. So there, there's a debate going on. My people in Ho say that they call themselves the oxygen city because it is the cleanest. So pretty soon, we'll be coming to deploy a few of the sensors there just to ascertain whether that is valid. We'll see about that. So yeah, other questions that some people ask is, what's the process for this? Yes. So the whole enclosure is 3D printed, which we did here. So the design, the iteration process, the circuitry, all that was done in-house. So prototyping, which is what a lot of you, if you registered for the IoT certification program, is the same process you went through. That's how the same it goes. You ideate, you do some breadboarding, you get it right, you move to circuit stuff, and then you start to manufacture your PCBs for production, which is where we've got to. So we are waiting PCBs from China. Unfortunately, we don't have any fabs here, so we have to order them from China. Unfortunately, we're hoping to partner with some people to start up some fabs, so we can have some of these things that locally, that we don't have to be, spending a lot of time waiting for PCBs to come in. So, yeah, so that's an interesting. That's just an interesting part as well on what we do. So, for these ones, like I said, he who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying. If you're interested in this mesh device, this LoRa mesh device for communication without internet, without Wi-Fi, without any local network, encrypted, let's see the number of votes we get for people who would say that do something on it. Yes, yes, Arnold, you are late. You are very, very, very late. The admin for the Accra IoT Robotics and Do It Yourself group is late to the show, so he'll pay a fine. Yeah, so like I said, if you're interested in this, let you know. I have a few of them around that will still be setting up just to test out. But we've tested it, works fine. You don't need internet, you don't need network, you don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need, and it has an accompanying app for both iOS and Android. So all you need to do is, so you pair your phone by Bluetooth to this device. That's all you do. So it connects to your phone by Bluetooth on the app, and your other partner also has it connected by Bluetooth, and that's it. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no. I mean, you don't need a smartphone actually. Any low powered phone that can run the app. That's it. The app doesn't need internet. So yeah. And someone say, how is that possible? Yes, Laura and some magic is making this possible. So yeah, I'll be sharing. Let me think about it. Should I share or not share? Should I share or not share? But yeah, so pretty much, yeah. Yep. So these are some of the stuff that I've been working on. So just to recap, we've talked about all the things we've been working on. We've talked about the mesh network. We've talked about LoRa. We've talked about the sensors. We've talked about what to expect on the show. We'll be doing a lot more, device to cloud. We'll be doing some digital twins as well. And actually today, a friend of mine, Pete Shit, he did a very fantastic session on, he built a robotic arm, running C#, and he was able to control that in VR. So he had this whole VR app, and then he could control the arm in VR. So that's quite interesting. So focus going forward is mostly on connectivity, low powered on the stuff. But then I'll start to look into some edge devices as well, because we're entering the dimensions where you want to do from the factory to a farm, to home and stuff like that. You want to run some kind of like edge processes, a lot of MQTT on how to communicate and publish, subscribe modules. How do I send data to the cloud or to my edge? How do I respond to setting telemetry that is coming, and how do I do analytics on it? How do I get some insight from the data that is coming up? So those are some of the things to expect. As always, it's going to be hands-on. We'll do it for you to see in real life. We'll do the hands-on things, and where possible, we'll put out further studies on it. But if you're in Accra, you can join our WhatsApp group. I believe that where is that? Elikmin interested. Yes. So Elikmin, remind us on Saturday when you guys are presenting your demos. We'll talk more about that. We'll put the rest of you in the group so that you can share some of the things. Yeah, I think that is so that I believe is the WhatsApp group, QR code up there, so you can scan it and you join. My socials remain the same across all the platforms. You can connect with me on all this platform, ask me questions on IoT, on power, and also on that and on that. I'm trying to focus on a few areas, probably two. So we might be doing only 2 shows, not certain yet, but anything that is of interest that needs to be shared. IoT is a must, and I'll try as much as possible to show the fusion between IoT and all the other services. So for mixed reality, for low code, no code stuff. Yeah, so far as it's technology, it's solving a problem, and we can leverage it. Yes, we would do that. So thank you for joining today. If you have any questions, we still have a few more minutes to go. If you have a questions, put it in. Else, I'm just going to go ahead and share a few resources for you that you can use to learn IoT. Especially most of the comments, most of the questions I get is, Sam, I don't have an Arduino, I don't have an ESP, I don't have, because I can't afford it, because I can't, but these are resources you can use. The first one is, I've shared this before, is Wokwi. Yeah, there you go. So this is it. So you go to wokwi.com, and this and this here is actually a platform that allows you to simulate stuff. And I think some of you, those who were in the IoT certification workshop, we showed you this. So you can test on a ESP32, you can test on an Arduino, STM, Pico, and then you can work with Visual Studio Code. You can do all that. See, it's interesting. These are some of the projects people have built, and it has some components as well in it: servos, LCDs, LEDs, all that. So if you don't have any device, right? If you don't have, you say, "Oh, I don't have an ASP32, I don't have an Arduino," you can use this, to, so I can select this, and there are some projects I can do with it, or I can say, it's just a starter. I just want an ESP32. Okay, so you see they're adding all of it, the S3, the S2, the Wi-Fi. This is interesting because they have even C6, see, and H2. This is, so they keep updating it. I think I had an H2 somewhere. So they even have devices that are also Matter compliant. So this is a very interesting it's a very interesting application, and you can use it if you don't have any physical device. There's another one here, which is, I think, is Quito. Yep. Secute. It's like saying Secute. Secuto.io. Oh, I was looking for a new owner. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So it looks like Sekito needs some help, else they're gonna also um have to shut down. But this is also another very interesting application, also for simulations and doing stuff. It also generates code for you as well, and also a part list. So you see here, I can swap this for either a Raspberry Pi, an ESP, an ATM. So the only thing I noticed was that Wokwi has a lot more devices compared to Sequito. So let's say I want to do Raspberry Pi. I can do this, and this changes. Yeah, swap. And let's do the swap, and now my board is a Raspberry Pi, right? So if you don't have, let's reset this. So if you don't have a physical Raspberry Pi, right, you can leverage things like Securito and all these other platforms to sorry, to use the Raspberry Pi, and it functions the same. You can write code. The good thing I like about this is, whatever you, let's say I want to add a GPS. The good thing I like about this is, when you add components, it does the wiring for you. So if you check this out, you notice that it's done the wiring for me, because I just put a GPS there. Let's say if I put a temperature humidity sensor, if I drop it here, you see that it does the wiring also for me, and I can see that, because sometimes most of you are worrying, how do I, I mean, the data sheet is there, or the spec sheet is there for you to connect with it, but this also helps you when you have, how do you call it, when you have, and let's say if I want to add a real-time clock, temperature, humidity. So yeah, let's drop a real-time clock here. Okay, so this can also, and that's a good thing. They'll also tell you if the module you're using is not compatible. They will tell you. So you get all this benefit from using this how do you call it, from using this tool. So yeah, they have a bunch of stuff there. There is a CO2 alcohol gas sensor. You can add it to it, and yep, you can see that. So you are building GPS enabled CO2, and if you check this out, if you go to code, look at this. It writes all the code for you. You download the code, and then you deploy it onto your application. You have a working application, right? And you can use this to learn, how to do the wiring, how to read the data and all that. Rather than, it's a good kickstart for you than trying to do that all together. And then they even have some output as well. So let's say I want to put some LED to show when the temperature, when it's is bad. As you can see the wiring is done for you. If you wanted to control, hey, welcome to the show, Gilbert. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you can see here, and then if you also want to, some LEDs, some servos, all that, right? You can put it here. Now, the last part of it is connectivity. So you can let's just add the connectivity to it. Let's get the connectivity part. So here you want the ability to, let's say connect it to the internet, or if you use Node MC, you connect it to Wi-Fi, right? So you can specify that as well to use it. So Securito and Wokui are two very interesting tools. As someone who is interested in IoT, you should have under your tool belt. They allow you to simulate and do a lot of work, and yeah, you love that. I would say that you guys are being amazing. I can see a little over 50 views, and that's very impressive. I just want to entreat all of you that please subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends, share it with your students, share it with family. If you're interested in it, especially IoT and technology, I do a lot of tech stuff on my live stream. Tuesdays are specifically for IoT. Fridays are specifically for general technology, and on that I'm going to speak on Friday on what I want to do, but a glimpse of that is going to be a lot of AI, co-pilot, and mixed reality stuff. And that's where the focus is going to be. But yeah, but today Tuesdays are for IoT, and we are grateful for that. We have about 8 minutes to go. I'm going to open up for questions, concerns, suggestions, project ideas. I'm open. Was I going to show a tool or something? Yeah, Arduino Cloud is also another. Let's see. Arduino Cloud. So Arduino Cloud is another way to connect your stuff to the cloud and build quick applications. So that's a good thing about Arduino Cloud, is that only required. You can build dashboards, you can build applications here. Okay, so yeah, so you can literally develop your applications here, create a simple app, deploy on your phone and stuff like that. So Arduino Cloud is also there. However, for the most part, we will be using a lot of stuff from the Microsoft or Azure IoT ecosystem, right? I think, yeah, I will do a session. I'll do a quick session on by the sites. Okay. I know, right? I should buy it. We'll see. I'll go back and actually review what's happening, and we'll see if we can support it. I'll also be talking about Node-RED. Okay. If you don't know what Node-RED is, it is a visual programmer, right? And it makes it a lot easy to actually program and do, so especially if you're doing IoT and want to do some automations and flows like that. Node-RED has a lot of built-in things for you. And even our IoT, how do you call it? Our LoRa gateway server has a Node instance on it. Now, I want to say that in recent times for agriculture, people want to do a lot of smart agric, where you want to know if it's a good time to water your plants, if it's a good time to even fertilize, right? Combining with drone technology, where you're taking pictures and running it on an AI inference model to see if you need to fertilize, if you need to add more nutrient to the soil and stuff like that. It makes sense to have a lot of connectivity options. So if, let's say, if I were maybe doing large scale agriculture, right, I'll probably get a Starlink or another alternative connecting satellite connectivity, so that if I'm in a remote place where I still want to have an insight and build my smart farm or greenhouse, I can have alternative solution. Now, this is not to say that you need a Starlink to be able to run a green farm. No, that's not the point. But if you want to, you probably will start with LoRa. Have all these sensors, do LoRa, create a mesh. They're sending the data to a gateway, but then from the gateway to your cloud, where you can do graphs, or you can, build inference. You can do that also on the edge. But however, if you want to have remote access to the farm, trigger things, and shared stuff like that, you need some form of connectivity to do that. So yeah, so these are kind of things to expect on the show going forward. And also from time to time, we will take what we're going to do is we'll take some ideas and suggestions and questions from you on building different things. So on the Azure side, right, there are a lot of things. Azure IoT operations, which is quite new, Arc enabled operations, where you can do a lot of things on the edge. There's our favorite IoT hubs for more constrained devices. There's digital twins. I think if you've subscribed to my channel, you've seen me touch on a lot of these things. But this time around, we're going to be in alignment with all the cool stuff that is happening. How to set them up, how to use them, how to use it to build real life solutions. From like we have done with CrowdSense and Crafted Climate. So we don't just talk about it, we use it to build product. And that's where I want you to get to. I want you to get to the point where you've learned a lot on the show that you can build your own product, or have a conversation without to have a product. With Logic Hubs, we are trying to also start some form of an incubation project. An incubation project in the sense that we realize that people have a lot of ideas, but especially on the IoT side, the hardware side, and do not know how to go about it. So Logic Hub is trying to be that partner for you, where you can come in. We can move you from idea to product based on some of the best practice we learn, based on our with help from our partners and stuff like that. So we're also looking to have that shared with you. So looks like looks like we've got about 3 minutes to go, and we've done an hour. Sorry, I know the stream ended. We should have ended by now, but it's just a good feeling coming back to see all of you on the stream, learning and sharing stuff. And I keep saying that, look, gone were the days where companies were specific, just doing buying and selling and doing stuff. Today, every company is a tech company, whether you like it or yes. Every company is a tech company, and there is always something in there for you to apply, from digitization to connectivity to smart devices and stuff like that. There is always a place for technology in what you do. Whether you're growing cassava, there is a place for technology for you to do. So if this was something that you were excited about, you want to see, you want to learn more, and yeah, if you have it's just a timing. But if you have kids that like some of these things, yeah, subscribe for them, and when they are home, they can watch the YouTube channel to learn how to do all this crazy stuff. So thank you so much. If this sounds like something you want to do, my socials are there. Connect with us, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, look out for our posters. Join us either on Friday or next Tuesday for the next session, where we're going to dive into building some things and talking about that. But please, those of you who are asking me whether we can use CorelDRAW to do data analytics, please, I beg, I'm not feeling well. So don't come and ask me if CorelDRAW can be used to do data analytics. Well, folks, this is where time is going to permit us for today. Top of the hour, thank you very much for being a perfect and awesome audience. 50 live, that's huge for me. Thank you very much. I so much appreciate it. Let's keep it up. We'll hope to see you next week. I hope to see you next week. But I promise I'll show you something on Friday. I'll show you what you can do with. You can do stuff with data in CorelDRAW, and I'll show you that next week. So make a date with me. So then, thank you so much. Stay blessed. Let's stay safe. And I always say, let's make the world a better place through technology. I am out.